Hello and welcome. You are watching News 9 Live. I'm Krishnakumar, and the big story that we're tracking here on News 9 Live is the big controversy surrounding the results of NEET 2024, because the results have thrown up huge anomalies and they've distressed so many students and their parents. Students who have been preparing for months and years to give the National Entry Cum Eligibility Test for MBBS, all aspiring doctors in this country have been put through so much hardship because of the results that came out 10 days ahead of schedule and threw up some major nasty surprises. 67 getting the perfect score of 720 on 720, unprecedented. Just last year there were 2 who got those perfect scores. This time around it's 67. And 24 hours after we took up the issue here on News 9 Live, a clarification has come from the NTA, or National Testing Agency, which conducts the NEET, and even that clarification has not been able to assuage all the concerns and the fears. We're going to be tracking this big story, getting you some reactions over the course of the next hour or so. I have with me in the studio my colleague and friend Kartik Malhotra. Kartik, talk to us the response. Even we have written to the National Testing Agency. They haven't bothered responding to that, but the official response that they've put out has not answered any of the big questions correctly.
There are 5 big questions, Krishna, and we have written to Dr. Sadhna Parashar. She's a senior director at NTA. The press release, the clarification that was released by NTA today was signed by her. It was released in her name. There are 5 big questions that we are asking her, and she has not responded to our email. The phone lines that are listed on the NTA website that were part of the press release go unanswered. 5 questions. Question number 1. What explains a rise in the total number of toppers at 67? NTA has clarified that 44 students were given grace marks on account of a wrong physics question which potentially had 2 answers. 6 additional students have received top marks, 720 out of 720, because of the adjustment of the time loss. The question still remains that there are another 17 students, because 44 plus 6 makes it to 50. There are another 17 students who have received top marks. Look at the average over the years. The average has been not more than 2 or 3 students in a year. That is question number 1 to Dr. Parashar. Question number 2, 8 toppers with similar roll numbers, the same sequence of roll numbers, and social media chatter right now also is, Krishna, that 7 out of these 8 students don't have a surname listed in their names. The examination, the coaching centers that really advertise the top students every year after the NEET exam are missing these 7 out of 8 names. There are no claimants from any coaching centers as to whether or not these 7 students actually took coaching at their centers. We don't have full names of these candidates. They all belong suspiciously so to the same center, and no coaching center wants to claim responsibility. Question number 3, can NTA rule out foul play? It looks very, very unlikely that so many students got grace marks and eventually landed up with the top score. How can you rule out a leak in the examination paper? Question number 4, were grace marks only considered for students who formally gave writ petitions to the Honorable High Courts of Punjab and Haryana, of Delhi and Chhattisgarh, or were grace marks considered for all other students who had attempted that wrong physics question and perhaps gave the second correct answer, not the ascribed correct answer? And question number 5, were these grace marks, related to question 4, were these grace marks for the physics questions accorded only to the 13,373 students who challenged the provisional answer key, which was released just a few hours before the final results were given out? Or were all the students, the 24 lakh students, all of those students who had attempted that physics question and perhaps chose the second correct answer, was the grace marking considered for those students as well or not? No response whatsoever from Dr. Sadhna Parashar.
No response from the National Testing Agency Senior Director Sadhna Parashar. But we are continuing to ask questions here on News 9 Live. We have with us Advocate Anubha Shrivastava Sahai, Educationalist and President of India-wide Parent Association, joining us on this broadcast. We also have Dr. Dhruv Chauhan, National Coordinator, IMA, Indian Medical Association Junior Doctors Network. We also have Professor Sushma Yadav, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Haryana, and former member, University Grants Commission, also joining us in just a bit. But let me take this across to Dr. Dhruv Chauhan, first National Coordinator, Indian Medical Association Junior Doctors Network. Dr. Dhruv Chauhan, you see the National Testing Agency is still not being able to come up with solid answers, and you have students, who have been pushed down by ranking by so much, like people who have been pushed down to such low that they can't get admission into any college, leave alone the colleges of their choice. They can't get admission anywhere because of the faulty results that have been put out.
Yeah, actually, I raised this issue earlier also, that if 67 students are getting 720 by 720 marks, then first of all, we also know that AIMS has also been included in the same NEET exam. Earlier, the AIMS exam was different, but now it is a part of the NEET examination. Hence, the students can get admission into AIMS via NEET only. So, if this happens, there are 132 seats in AIMS Delhi itself, and out of that, 7 are reserved for the national, this foreign nationals. And amongst those seats, there are only 52 to 53 reserved seats. I mean, 52 to 53 general seats. And if 67 students are getting 720 by 720 marks, that means there will be still 10 to 15 students who will not be able to take admission in AIMS Delhi even if they score 720 by 720 marks. That is, complete score will still not let you come in AIMS Delhi if you belong, from the general category, and that too, having the topmost ranking. So this is as per the conclusion that is being drawn from this particular set. So yeah, this is a very serious issue, and this is practically not possible that two students last year to 667 students this year. This is not possible. That too including 6 to 8 students from the same center. And we have been raising this issue, and NTA did not clarify it. They have released a clarification, but did not clarify how a single center can get so many, aspirants topping the exam if the allegations are true.
Right. Right. Stay with us. Let me take this across to Advocate Anubha Shrivastava Sahai, Educationalist and President, India-wide Parent Association. We've been getting reactions from students and parents. We are on ground in Kota, which is the capital of coaching centers for entrance examination, and so many students have been preparing for 2 years. Parents, you cannot put in words the anxiety that they're going through at this stage, and still the National Testing Agency is yet to come out with any solid solutions on the matter.
Yeah, actually, the notification which has come, the clarification from NTA, I think it's not justifiable. And even the students and many teachers, many educationists, they are also saying that the justification, clarification being given by NTA is not sufficient. And the main issue, what they could have done is, they could have conducted a separate exam for all these students instead of giving grace marks. Because of this grace marks, other students, like out of 24 lakh students, those who have qualified, suppose 1 lakh have qualified, so all those 1 lakh students are going to suffer because of this grace mark thing. And they have also not followed the Supreme Court guidelines, as yesterday also we have spoken, and you have also clarified that how they have not followed the Supreme Court guidelines in toto. So if they need to follow and implement and give the grace marks in line with Honorable Supreme Court guidelines, then they will have to create a separate list. They will have to also give extra seats. They have to reserve extra seats or some ad hoc seats in the medical colleges if they are going to implement this assessment policy being suggested by Honorable Supreme Court for a different set of exam, for CLAT, not for this NEET exam. So on what basis the committee which has been constituted, they are saying that we have constituted a committee and the committee has taken a decision. So I don't think that one committee should take such call and decide the future of 24 lakh students. Now students are on road today. You can see a lot of protests are happening in, I have seen in Kanpur, in Rajasthan, and in other areas also, in other parts also, I have seen that the students and parents are on road. And in Maharashtra also, I got to know that parents are complaining that even in their centers, students could not get time. There was a time loss of around 15 minutes. So now they are also approaching because they were not aware that grace marks will be given to these students. So somehow I think there is some kind of lacuna from NTA side, and NTA should resolve this issue. Instead of giving grace marks, they should find out some other solution so that other students, all those students will not suffer, because we have only 50,000 seats in government colleges. Out of those 50, again 50% are reserved, almost for category students and 10% for EWS general category. So almost 60% seats are being reserved in these medical colleges. So there are a lot of things which can be done. Government can easily, like for IITs also, they have, for especially for girls, they have, I don't remember the year, particular year, but in one particularly they have increased the seats for girl students in IITs. So that can be done even in medical colleges where ad hoc seats can be increased,
Right.
and separate exam can be taken, separate assessment can be taken, separate list can be definitely, as suggested yesterday also, NTA can come up. Instead of doing all this, they should come out with some genuine solution
Right.
for
Genuine
these
solution.
aspirants.
That's the word, genuine solution. And as we discuss the genuine solution, we put out a poll online here on News Now in Live. Let's take a look at the results of the poll as far as the clarification that's coming from the NTA, National Testing Agency. Are you satisfied with the NTA clarification? That's the question we've asked. And look at the answer. 86% have voted no. 86% are saying that this clarification is not enough. There is nothing in this clarification. They've outrightly denied any possibility of a paper leak. Kartik, that's a telling statistic, isn't it? People logging on to our poll, and everybody logging on to the poll, nearly overwhelming majority saying the fact that this clarification, they're just not satisfied with it whatsoever.
How can they be satisfied, Krishna? The question number 2 that we had actually posed to Dr. Sadhna Parashar pretty much asks this very, very one-pointed question, where if you look at the series of roll numbers starting 2307010, what happens to those 8 roll numbers which are from serial number 62 to 69, which have 8 students, out of which 7 students only have a first name? How can you allow for such a great discord in society, where perhaps the admission form was also not filled correctly by somebody who is perhaps aspiring to be a doctor? So, I mean, this is just one of the many issues at this point, Krishna. Right. Another issue which is fairly blatant again is, which I want to keep coming back to, even if you keep the grace marks aside, 17 toppers when the average has been 3. In fact, 2 and 0 in some cases. 720 out of 720 is a very rare feat. And you're saying 17 students got that 720 out of 720. And out of that, there are 7 students who have not even in their admission form or in their examination form mentioned their second name.
Look at the statistics over there. 2019-20, there was 1 topper. 2021, there were 3 toppers, as in perfect scores of 720. Bear in mind, 180 questions, 4 marks for a correct answer and minus 1 mark for a wrong answer. So the maximum you can get with 180 and 4 marks is 720. 1 in 2019 and 2020, 3 toppers in 2021, 1 topper again in 2022, and 2 toppers last year in 2023. This time around 67. How is the National Testing Agency not looking at these numbers? Anybody, any layman even looking at these numbers will go, what happened over here? And we are asking that question over here again. Dr. Dhruv Chauhan, I'm going to come back to you. Now, today we are focusing on the clarification that has been put out by the National Testing Agency. That clarification again seems like another sham of a clarification, like the sham of the results that have come out.
Yeah, absolutely. They are not able to justify the questions of the students coming from lakhs of. There are 2.4 million student NEET aspirants who have given the exam, and their future is on stake because they have not clarified it. There is one more query that I would like to tell you. One more query was coming. This is an alleged query, and the proofs are also available as per the allegation. Is that a student scoring 589 marks was scoring 43,514 rank, and a student scoring 618 marks was scoring 61,014 rank. That is completely opposite. I mean, if this allegation is true, then the scoring system is also not right. The ranking system is also somehow allegedly suspiciously wrong.
And
So
Dhruv, in the
this
clarification,
allegation,
Dhruv, I'll just hold your thought there. In the clarification which has come from the NTA today, paragraph number 3 in the press release is trying to give some sort of a half-baked justification. What is the justification that the NTA has given? They are saying that the number of candidates who appeared last year in 2023 were 20,38,596. The number of candidates this year has risen to 23,33,297. It is not even a 20% increase in the number of candidates. Even if you assume it's a 20% increase, 20% more number of toppers is what any normal statistical model will tell you. But this time it is not a 20%, it is a 20x rise in the number of toppers. From 3, the number has gone beyond 60. I mean, there is absolutely no way that statistically also you can justify that because you had more number of students writing the exam, you have those many more number of toppers.
absolutely, absolutely. And not only this, we already know that already many number of FIRs have been filed regarding this case and many arrests have been made. Now, why this arrest had happened? Bihar and Patna police was not mad that they arrested 13 people in this case. Why did they arrest them if they did not have evidence? There was evidence, surely that's why they arrested now. And if there was evidence, why the NTA is declining it? That the NEET exam was not leaked. These are actually a lot of number of questions are coming out, and they have to give the clarification clearly, which they are not giving. Even the court order they are following. I already told that in your show last time also, that in the court order also there is specifically it is mentioned that you have to increase the ad hoc basis of seats also if you have to give equality to the students and if you follow this normalization rule. But they are not following this rule completely. This is a half followed rule.
Right. Stay with us, Dr. Dhruv Chauhan. We are going to continue discussing this. Meanwhile, we have Dr. Sushma Yadav, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Haryana, and former member, University Grants Commissioner, UGC, now joining us live on this broadcast. You've been listening to this conversation. My simple question at this stage is that look at the clarification the NTA put out after these huge controversies erupted and the kind of distress that both students and parents are going through. Are you satisfied with that clarification?
I haven't been able to see the complete clarification as it came today because I was busy in the morning. But what I've heard from you, I think it is a quick reaction, that's all. And I think NTA shouldn't have come out with this kind of clarification so fast without getting a complete inquiry into the entire episode. Because what we see surely is not as it should have been. And what is there does not really satisfy any thinking mind, like you are worried about it. And I must compliment you for insisting and persisting because there's surely something which needs much more inquiry, much more comprehensive understanding and improvisation of the system. So
A
I
simple
think,
question. Have you ever seen something like these kind of results come out in your career?
No, I haven't. I haven't, please.
So this is unprecedented
So
as far as your own career is concerned.
Surely it is. Surely it is. And these are all new techniques and new systems which we are experimenting with. Because use of technology at such a large scale, such a huge scale, and for such an exam has just started happening. And what I said yesterday, I would say again, NTA doesn't have any role in that, but Indian mind has. And I remember yesterday one of our panelists was saying, I still remember her sentence, that if the entry is so unethical, how can we expect ethics from this profession? And this is happening to every profession, I would say. So we really have to worry about it, because I have heard, and I think it's very, very serious, that already we have people who have started maneuvering or attempting to maneuver the system, which is really, really worrisome. And I said I would compliment, but I would compliment you again. Please pursue it, because it shouldn't happen. Because if it happens, then there are many more who are being deprived of their legitimate right or legitimate entry into these institutions.
Oh, we are pursuing this matter, ma'am. We are not letting go of this. In fact, we are also getting
I
some.
salute you.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. And we are doing this only for the sake of all the students and their parents and all the mental anguish and, in fact, in the form of harassment that they're being put through with this kind of testing. And we're speaking on their behalf. This matter, bear in mind, is also becoming political. We have a political reaction coming in. Let's listen to what Krishnakumar had to say on the matter.
नीट का रिजल्ट आने के बाद देश भर में कई विद्यार्थियों की आत्महत्या की खबरें आई। ये हमारे लिए बहुत दुख की बात है और आप सब जानते हैं इस देश में 1 घंटे में 2 जवान जो है आत्महत्या कर रहे हैं। सरकार को इस बात को गंभीरता से लेना चाहिए। सिर्फ चुनाव से पहले परीक्षा पर चर्चा करने से नहीं होगा। चुनाव के बाद जब सरकार बनती है तो परीक्षा को लेकर के जो गड़बड़ियां देश में हो रही है उसको इमीडिएटली एड्रेस करना चाहिए। नीट का जहां तक सवाल है इसमें 3 मुद्दे जो हैं प्रमुखता से निकल करके सामने आए हैं। पहला, बड़े पैमाने पे जो है धांधली हुई है। कई जगह पे जो है प्रश्न पत्र लीक होने का आरोप भी हुआ है, जैसे पटना में कुछ गिरफ्तारियां हुई हैं। और तीसरा, अजीबोगरीब परिणाम आए हैं, जैसे 67 लोग जो हैं उनका रैंक 1 है। एक ही सेंटर के जो कई लोग जिनका सीरियल नंबर 1 है और लगातार एक रो में बैठे हुए हैं उनका रैंक 1 आया है। तो उसको लेकर के इस देश के विद्यार्थियों का एक कंसर्न है। सरकार जो है तुरंत इसको एड्रेस करे। और कांग्रेस पार्टी ने, हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष ने मांग किया है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट की निगरानी में नीट को लेकर के जो है एक निष्पक्ष जांच होनी चाहिए।
Right. There are political reactions coming in. We've also got some reactions over the course of the day from Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin as well, who has now taken pot shots at the central government for the way NEET has been conducted. We also had political reactions coming in from Priyanka Gandhi as well. Clearly, the matter is being taken up by anybody and everybody who's had a look at those results. Let me take this back to Advocate Anubha Shrivastava Sahai, Educationalist and President, India-wide Parent Association. The only question here at this stage is that is a re-evaluation of the results the need of the hour, and if possible, retesting being done from certain centers from where the results are sounding most dubious?
Absolutely. Yes, definitely. All the centers where all this maybe scam has happened, leaks have happened, they have already taken exam. Like in some center there was some issue, I think in Rajasthan or maybe some center in Haryana, and they have given they have conducted retest on the same day. So definitely I don't know why they have not given extra 15 minutes for these students. Because of time loss now, they are giving a grace mark. Instead of that, they could have conducted re-exam during that time only, or they could have given some extra time, maybe 15-20 minutes for these students. Now they are coming up with this result which is now hampering the future of all other lakhs and lakhs of students. So definitely they are going to protest. Definitely they are going to raise voice, because it's their future which they are going to protect. They will definitely protect their future. Their parents will protect their future. They have put in a lot of hard work in this.
Right.
So, NTA should come up with some solution, giving some clarification which they have given last time and even yesterday is not going to resolve this problem.
Absolutely.
This is a very serious problem and they are not admitting. And secondly, they are not admitting that there was a paper leak.
Yeah,
when the police has arrested Bihar police, so why they are not admitting? They should investigate. Why they are not investigating why paper leak has happened and what all has happened? So I think a committee should be set up, not the committee from NTA. I think government should set up a committee, and maybe CBI can step in and take a lead.
Fair enough. That's a good point, isn't it, Kartik? It's time for CBI to step in.
There needs to be a very, very prudent, solid investigation, and we need to get to the bottom of this. And I want to highlight another set of statistics for you here, Krishna, and for all our panelists and those who are watching us. Out of all the toppers that have been disclosed in the results this time around, Akash Institute has claimed 21 toppers in their advertisement. Alan has claimed 27 rankers. Narayana and Chaitanya have claimed 9 rankers each. None of these top coaching institutions have claimed that these 6 students which belong to the same series of roll numbers, there are 8 of them who belong to that series, 6 of them are from Haryana, and these 6 students have the single first name given on the examination sheet. These students don't have a second name. How do we reach out to those students? How do we figure out with just the first name whether these students are even real or fake in the first place? No educational coaching institution is claiming responsibility. We don't have a second name. All we have is a serial number and a roll number, and very, very similar roll numbers, a sequence of roll numbers being the same, and 6 out of those 8 with the same series of roll numbers coming from the state of Haryana.
Right, the rot runs deeper than we think, isn't it, Dr. Dhruv Chauhan? There are now coaching institutes and coaching centers who are putting out some of these dubious results and even claiming credit for the fact that, we have so many rankers coming out from our institute.
Actually, these coaching institutes belongs to nobody, and whosoever scores rank 1 belongs to a particular coaching institute. Whosoever scores the top ranks, they belong to particular same.
But Dhruv, here we've got 6 rankers. Here we've got 6 rankers who nobody wants to claim credit for. Who are these 6 rankers?
Who knows if they are real?
That's exactly my question.
Even know. Yeah, who knows?
You don't even have a second name. You don't even have a second name. You just have a sequence of roll numbers all ascribing to these 7 candidates without a second name, 6 candidates belonging to the same center in Haryana.
Exactly, and this is the main reason why investigation is not only police level investigation. It actually requires CBI level of investigation, because this is not a crime which is possible without the agencies involved themselves. There are definitely some insiders that are involved, and when this exam, and I also tell you one big thing. Some students from many colleges who are raising this NEET issue are receiving emails in their colleges to their deans that the particular student of your college is posting this stuff on social media and provoking the NEET aspirants. This is happening with a lot of students, and I have got to know this today. So this is something serious. That means definitely there is someone who is involved in this scam. Definitely there is somebody. If this scam is true, there is definitely somebody involved in it.
So, Krishna, let's do one thing.
Before we go any further, I don't think there's going to be any doubt about whether it's a scam or not. We are running a poll here on the clarification given out by the National Testing Agency. Look at the answers to that poll. Are you satisfied with the NTA clarification? Now, over 450 voters we have. 87% again claiming that no, they're not satisfied with the clarification, Kartik.
Absolutely, and it's just not surprising. I'm in fact surprised that there are 13% of the students who are in fact, I hope this poll is not getting infiltrated by those who want to swing it in favor of the NTA.
Yeah.
But it's surprising that even 13% students say that they are satisfied with the NTA clarification, which is, like you mentioned, Krishna, a pure play sham. I want to use this medium, Krishna, and reach out to these 6 rank holders from the center in Haryana. If you are real, if you truly belong, if you have given that NEET exam, please join us. Write to us in our comment section and tell us that you belong. Give us an opportunity to get in touch with you and show the world how bright you are. I'm talking to Khushbu, roll number 2307010168. I'm talking to Krish, 333, the same sequence, roll number 333. I'm talking to Lakshay, 403. I'm talking to Anjali, 460. I'm talking to Prateek, 037. I'm talking to Vishakha, 186. And I'm talking to Yash Kataria, 198. Yash, you can give it a skip. At least we have a second name. But all other names that I've taken, 7 out of 8 names, which don't even have a surname, belong to the same center in Haryana, at least 6 out of those 7. Who are you? Come out and tell us that you exist. Join us on our show tomorrow.
Right. So far, all we can think about is, are these people even real? Are these real people who took the exam in the first place? I'm going to ask a question to Professor Dr. Sushma Yadav, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Haryana and former member of the University Grants Commission. Have you seen this happen? Students, similar roll numbers without second names?
No, second names may not be as important because there may be people, but
ma'am, look at the coincidence.
I haven't seen this kind of phenomenon, of course.
Ma'am, absolutely. There are many people who prefer not to use a second name. I know a lot of my friends who prefer not to use a second name. But rankers,
and there are
7 out of 8
also.
top rankers are coincidentally belonging to the same sequence number, not using a surname. That's hard to believe.
That we haven't seen, you're right. That surely creates suspicion in our mind. And I'm really worried after seeing this, because NTA must be able to look into it and get it examined. And I don't think they should give this kind of clarification as they've given. About those 13%, as you're saying, maybe they are those who are among the top rankers. So they'll surely believe that this is a good paper, or it's not a scam because it is in their interest. So there'll be some people doing that also. But I think what you have raised surely is to be raised morally. Let's not play politics with it, because it's more than politics. But of course, the parties will surely come out with their opinions and they have a right to. But NTA and the concerned agencies must be able to put a very convincing, logical, rational, and believable explanation, because they are responsible for that. And then only the mind of these youngsters who are troubled, or those like you, I would say vigilant press, will be satisfied. I think NTA must really look into it and come out to prove it's not a scam. It's their duty, it's their moral duty.
Absolutely, it is their duty, it is a moral duty. We are asking that question today. Is the NTA clarification satisfactory? Look at the poll results we've got over there. Now we have over 600 voters on the poll. 86% continue to say that they are not satisfied with the NTA clarification. As Kartik was talking about, who are those 14% trying to swing it the way of the NTA? How can this clarification